This is your Persuasive Writing Videocast. I'm Trent England-Director of the Citizenship and Governance Center at the Evergreen Freedom Foundation, and I'm going to talk to you on this videocast about why letters to the editor still matter for activists, why it's still important to be writing those letters to your local newspaper. I have 4 reasons why I think letters to the editor are critical for effective activism. The first reason why writing letters to the editor still matters is who reads newspapers. I've had a lot of people ask me, does it matter anymore? Newspapers are being read less and less. We hear the stories about newsroom layoffs and newspapers suffering. And I've had some folks say, does it matter? Should we continue to spend our time and energy writing letters to the editor? It does matter, and it matters because who still reads newspapers? Think about, in elections, what demographic usually turns out the most. I think it's easy for anyone who follows elections to answer. It's older folks. Retired folks turn out in the highest numbers almost every time there's an election. And if you look at newspaper readership, it's the same folks who are reading newspapers. In fact, if you look at who votes and who reads newspapers, we see declining participation in elections, just like we see declining readership of newspapers, but those two groups still have heavy overlap. When you write a letter to the editor, when you have something in the newspaper, that is being seen by the people who are actually exercising their citizenship and participating in their sovereignty by casting ballots. Reason 2 why letters to the editor matter is who else reads newspapers. Not just voters, but elected officials and the staff who work for elected officials. They read newspapers probably with greater focus and attention than anybody else. If you get a letter to the editor in your newspaper, that's going to be seen by the people who care about that issue, the officials, the staff members who are interested in whatever you're writing about. And more than likely, it'll actually be read by the elected official who's following that issue. Or even better, if you mention an elected official's name in your letter to the editor, they're going to see that. Or even at the highest level, something like the United States Senate, somebody high up in that office is going to see if you have a letter to the editor that mentions their name, that's printed in their state. They're going to see that. They're going to pay attention. It's actually far more effective, even though it is a good thing to do often to write to your officials directly. It's far more effective most of the time to get a letter to the editor printed in the newspaper. Reason number 3 to write letters to the editor is that the other side is probably already there. They're probably already on the letters to the editor page in your newspaper. And as much as we might wish it wasn't the case, perceptions of power and popularity matter in politics. If the other side is there and you're not there, the perception may easily become that you don't exist, or that your ideas don't exist, or that they don't merit reference in the letters to the editor page, whether or not that actually is what's going on. It's important when the other side is engaging in that medium to show up. Sometimes part of winning the game, well, always part of winning the game, is just showing up in the first place. And it's important to be there and be contending for the things that we believe in. The fourth and final reason why letters to the editor still matter, why effective activists are still writing letters to the editor of their local paper, their state paper, their national paper, is that there are limited ways that we can reach a mass audience, and newspapers are still one of the greatest ways that we have to reach out and connect with a large number of people and a group of people who don't necessarily already agree with us. It's easy to go and find those collections of folks who are the choir that we can preach to. But if we want to reach out and actually persuade people who aren't already on our side, newspapers are one of the greatest ways we have to do that. And if you have any remaining doubts, look in your newspaper, not just at the editorial pages, but look through the whole newspaper. What else is in there? You'll see a lot of advertisements. How much do you think all that advertising is worth? How somebody is paid for all those ads in the newspaper. They paid thousands of dollars, and a few advertisers maybe do it to boost their egos, but the vast majority of the companies who are placing those ads do it because they know that at the end of the day, when they write up their bottom line, what they spend in advertising and print advertising in their local newspaper pays off at the end of the day. If they spend thousands, they're making thousands more than that. And there's no reason why an effective activist writing persuasively, getting those newspapers to print your letters to the editor, can't have the same impact that all those corporate advertisers who are throughout the rest of the newspaper have. I'm Trent England. Thank you for watching this edition of your Persuasive Writing Videocast.